Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Ask Andrew, where each week I answer a film-related question submitted by you, one of our BMFI viewers. This week's question: should we think about blockbuster movies differently than other films? Well, I have a really definitive answer to this, and that is yes and no. I'll start with no first. We should want certain basic things from all of the movies that we take the time to watch or spend the money to watch. Things like an interesting story and interesting characters that face challenges and change over the course of the movie, and ideas that go beyond plot or subtext that exists beneath plot, and uh, things that are, things of visual interest and things of energy and dynamism and things we haven't seen before, and good technique and thoughtful composition and strong performances and engaging dialogue. We should want those things and more from our movies, and it shouldn't really matter if that movie is a $200 million budgeted superhero movie or a $5 million, offbeat romantic comedy. We should want all those things. It shouldn't be that hard to achieve all those things. And I think part of the reason for the enormous popularity of movies like the Marvel uh, superhero films of the last many years, or Christopher Nolan's Batman films, is that those were movies that had big budgets and pre-existing properties and sort of, were marketed to within an inch of their lives and had a presence everywhere. All things that we expect are characteristic of blockbusters, but they also had all those other things I just mentioned as well. And so there are certain basic requirements, that some of which I think are fairly universal, some of which may be, subjective to specific individuals, but most of which I think we can all largely agree on, that a movie should have, regardless of its budget, its subject matter, its corporate, parentage, et cetera, et cetera. Um, then, on the other hand, I think there are some ways that we should think about blockbusters differently than other movies. I think we have, for example, um, we should have certain technical and aesthetic standards for blockbusters that we might not have for others, right? We should expect flawless special effects and computer generated imagery and all of that in blockbuster films, where we might not necessarily see that in a more modestly budgeted drama or another sort of film where, you know, creating a visual or otherworldly reality isn't as essential to the endeavor. So I think our expectations for effects, for cinematography, for visual dynamism and originality, I think all of those have a right to be higher in blockbuster films. I think that, and this is something that comes up a lot in um, teaching at the Institute and discussions of films at the Institute, is what do we want from a movie, and what are our expectations of a movie, and what is a movie supposed to be for this person or that person. And I think that, for blockbusters, there are certain expectations, and I mentioned some of them, and I think that people want certain things from blockbusters they might not say they want from other types of movies. I think people want to be entertained by a blockbuster. I think people want to leave a blockbuster feeling satisfied, like they had a good sort of visual meal of sights and thrills and excitement and fun. And I think people don't want to leave feeling leave a blockbuster feeling sad or angry or thinking about whatever problems there are in the world or whatever problems they entered the theater thinking about, right? Um, in a sense, a blockbuster should be liked and enjoyed by the people who see it. And it's more important that that's the case than it is that it is thought to be good, so to speak, by the people who see it, right? It's the old sort of thing, you know, let's just say, the last Avengers movie. The last Avengers movie is an American film. So was Schindler's List. Do we want the same things from those? Do we expect to leave those having the same thoughts and feeling the same things? No, we don't. I don't think we should. They're both, movies made by Hollywood. But one of them, the Avengers film, we would call sort of firmly planted in the blockbuster camp, and we have a different expectation of being entertained and amazed and satisfied in a positive, happy, lighter way, and rather than having our emotions plumbed and our brains challenged and things like that. So to go back to my original answer, there are some reasons or some ways in which we should think differently about blockbusters and some ways we shouldn't. An interesting question. Thanks for it. If you have a film-related question you would like me to try and answer, please visit brynmarfilm.org, go to the Film Studies Online section, and find the Ask Andrew form. Who knows? Next time, maybe I'll be answering a question that you sent in.